Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, wanted to start my speech today by giving you the story of the first time I did my icebreaker, which was about a year ago. I was in another Toastmasters club, and I actually went way over my time by about 5 minutes. Luckily, I was a starting club, so everyone was very supportive, and it worked out. But I think that really exemplifies probably my most endearing characteristic, which is that I talk a lot. I speak a lot, I'm very outgoing, I'm very social, I'm very loud. And I was thinking about that, and I realized that I haven't always been that way, and that every one of you that meets me now will know me as I am now. And what I'm going to do is try to tell you a little bit about how I got here. I'm going to do that by going through 3 stages of my life that really shaped me and really shaped who I am today. So I want to begin at the beginning, which is where I was born. I was born in South Bend, Indiana, which is a small city in northern Indiana. It's very cold. There's a lot of lake effect snow. My parents are both from India, so I'm first generation American. And I think that has affected me in a whole huge number of ways. The first is that I was internationally traveling at age 1. I was born, my mom had to go overseas and show me off to all the family, and I've been traveling like that for pretty much my whole life, and that exposed me to so many things at a young age. I was exposed to a lot of different cultures, including my own, which is different than the culture of where I was born, and that gave me a lot of natural curiosity. I went to so many different places, and I always had a love of meeting people. I had a big thirst for knowledge. I always wanted to learn things and see things. It also gave me a little bit of the social inclination, because I wanted to meet everybody and find out as much as I could about other people. And the thirst for knowledge in general went towards politics and economics, I think, which I'm hugely interested in now. Politics, because when I was overseas, I saw so many different things that you could do in certain countries and that you couldn't do in other ones, and how we were in the US, and I always wondered what the difference was, and I always came back to the fact that they just have different laws and different ways of doing things in different places. And economics, because a lot of the places I went, specifically India and some other countries, there was a lot of poverty, and I always wondered, why is it that I'm so well off and there are so many people that aren't? And I think economics really focuses in on that. Other than that, when I was younger, I had a pretty typical childhood. I played Little League. I had a little red bike I rode all over my neighborhood. I fought with my older sister. Luckily, I only have one sister, or one sibling, so I didn't have to fight off more than one. And other than that, yeah, it was a pretty good childhood. But I hadn't really developed into who I am today. I was as social. I was a little more inward focused, and I wasn't as outgoing. And a lot of that changed in the second stage, which is when I think about the time that I started high school. When I started high school, I branched out a lot more. I did a lot more activities. I started playing tennis. I really liked trivia, so I joined Quiz Bowl. I know, not the coolest, but it was a good time. And also did a couple of school plays and also a musical. And in high school, I really started doing a lot of other things that I probably wouldn't have done when I was younger. I started exhibiting a lot of the stereotypical younger sibling traits. I'm not sure if you guys know what those are, but that usually means that you're risk-taking and you're a little more adventurous. So when I was 16 and I got my car, the first thing I did was I went on this huge road trip. I have no idea how my parents let me do that. Luckily, I came back in one piece, but I did that. When I turned 18, I went skydiving, which is pretty awesome. And in general, I just did a lot more fun things and was a lot more outgoing and gained a little bit more confidence in general. And that leads me to about the third stage, which is when I started college. I went to Purdue University. I'm a proud Boilermaker. We have an amazing basketball team this season. Hopefully they'll go to the Final Four. And I majored in electrical engineering, which it stems from the fact that I really love technology. I think it's really interesting. Like Roberto spoke earlier today, I'm very into it. I think it can transform everything that we do. And by the time I was in college, I thought my personality was pretty much formed. I haven't changed much personally since then, but I did change physically, which I'll explain. When I went to college, and in general, I was really skinny. I probably weighed about 25 pounds less than I do right now. I've always been pretty skinny, and I went to college, and Purdue doesn't have a lot of girls there, and I said, man, I got to figure out a way to impress these girls. And I said, well, I should probably get bigger, gain some muscle. And I had no idea how to do this, and I clearly had no genetic inclination to do that whatsoever. I was a bit on my own, and what I did was just did some research, and was able to follow a routine and got to gain some weight, and luckily I kept it, and it worked out okay with the girls, but it's good because I'm healthier now and I still like exercise and nutrition. But that shows one of the other phases of my personality, and that is that I like to improve myself. I like to look at things that I can improve about myself and work towards them and set goals and actually achieve them. And that's why I'm in Toastmasters right now, and that's why I'm hopefully ending my icebreaker speech on time. Mr. Toastmaster.